I'm so sorry that happened. This is getting really annoying with these mics. Anyway, um, yeah, let me know if this works out. I'm just gonna wait to see some of you guys pop back on here. Audio is good. Oh God. I try not to say too many dirty words on here, but I about broke some shit a second ago. All right. So y'all can hear me good. Hopefully we get everybody back. God, that was annoying. Okay, so let me pick up where we left off before the mute. Okay. Okay, so Pantera Leo made a comment. He said, probably an unpopular opinion, but if guards can be made just like the Andis purple magnetic guards, but without the teeth getting super long for sizes. I mean, I get it for directing hair, but I'll just say that I would not be surprised if a lot of the things that you guys are feeling is what a lot of other people are feeling too. That's all I can say. I'll leave that there. I feel you on that. Great guards, just very long teeth. Let's see. Pantera Leo also said, for the sake of the 1.5 and the 2, I wish they could be shorter teeth, just like the wall one. Just like the wall one. Or the hated short tooth 0.5 Andis magnetic guard. Yeah, the problem with that 0.5 was just it was too rounded. The short teeth were not the problem. It just didn't have any kind of angle to really scoop the hair, kind of to dig in. But, is what it is. And Neil said the quieter the better for me. Then to everybody, yeah, it's a sound went out. I was muted. Mic dead. Nope. Somebody said, as quiet as the play right now. You guys are good. Let's see. So, okay. So now we're back into it. Let me get to where I can see the current comments. Okay. Audio is good. Good now. Neil says TWB cornerstone of the community. Oh, dude, come on. That's super nice of you. Still a smaller channel, and that's fine. One thing, so even with me getting the awesome opportunity to work with guys like Andis, like Babeless, like T-Pop, I've determined that this is going to be what I do. I'm not saying that anybody else really has done this. It's just this is purposely my thing. I am going to not sell out for any brand. I am here for you guys. I'm too old to kiss up to people. I mean, the whole reason I got involved with the Andis group of guys anyway was just because I was not scared to tell them what I thought. And if I'm not telling them what I think, then I'm doing them a disservice too. See. Pantera Leo says, I actually dig that 0.5 guard with the rounded guard so I can actually see where I'm faded into. That's the thing. It's if they took the, and I love the OG zero guard, I do. But if you take that same kind of like thin tooth angle and mix it with that 0.5, you might have a nice hybrid there. I don't know. I'm always sending ideas their way, trying to come up with ways to make things better for us, the people actually using the product all the time. Um, but yeah, so anyway, what was I saying? Back to the original. The Dual Quo from Babyliss. I I can't judge until it's in my hand, but I am excited to see them doing something new. Oh, jeez. But yeah, what are you guys thinking? Are you excited about it? Are you going to pick one up? My guess is, I mean, gosh, going off price points for Vector motors, we could be looking at a $300 clipper from Babyliss. I hope not. I'd love to see. To me, it can be done to where they can keep it around 220 to 240. That's what I would prefer, but we shall see if that's what happens. Um, but yeah, um, so let's see. So going back to the Senior 2.0, there was one thing that I noticed that I meant to bring up. The arm is different. It looks a lot like the T45 arm. It is wide. It has a big flat, almost like a, I could say a beaver tail, but just for fun, I'm going to say a platypus tail. Big old platypus tail right here on the side. And so between that, the thumb screw, the adjustment to where it looks like it goes between a click and the indicators, which I will say, just from a design standpoint, if those indicators are right on the money with where those clicks land you, that's pretty awesome. Because, and if you haven't seen that video, I mean, there's sizable indicators on the side of it. But it looks like a Senior. It looks like a modern. I don't remember if I saw the loop. I wasn't paying that much attention to that part of it. But I am excited about that. Let's see. Like I said, I got the Babyliss Core FX line that's going to be dropping here soon. It's already out. My review of it will be out soon. If you guys have not seen, I did drop my review on the Low Pro Compact trimmer and the Low Pro Compact shaver. I love that little shaver. If you guys are needing to get into the point to where you're doing detail work to the 9th degree, because to me for me the difference between a good haircut and a great haircut is that last 5 minutes you spend on it. It's your detail work. It's whether it's cross checking, slight texturizing, doing trimmer over comb, doing some fanning to make sure you don't have any cut marks, using a small shaver like that to be sure that your taper is nice and clean, that you don't have any stubble remaining, because especially if you're doing a bald out here in the back, they're going off feel. So whenever it comes to doing that, you shouldn't just be shaving it to where you don't see anything anymore. You need to be feeling it with the back of your finger, feeling it, making sure all the stubble's gone. If you need to change direction, change direction. And so that little shaver it's amazing. It's also really great for beards too. The I am real big. I don't know if you guys do this, but whenever my clients ask me about a beard trimmer, a foil shaver, anything like that that I use on them for home use, I direct them to barber quality products. I'm not going to tell them just to go to Walmart and buy something cheap or buy a Remington or buy this or that. I'm going to direct them to the stuff that we use day in and day out because, for one thing, it's more durable. It's probably cheaper than the Remingtons and the Bronze. We already know that. But it's meant for those purposes. It's ease of use. So I've got several guys who they just want to know how to keep their beard nice and maintained in between cuts. They get that little foil shaver from Babyliss, that compact. It's USB-C. They can keep it in their car with them. They can keep it with them at all times. Pop that sucker out, trim up around their beard, trim their cheeks, nice and clean. I love that little shaver. To me, it's got a permanent place on my station. And I like that little trimmer too. It's a nice size. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's too small." No, it's not. It's a nice size. I want something small to be able to get in those nooks and crannies around kids. But let's see. Looks like it'll be a dope clipper. Yeah, I will say that the Senior 2 looks I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it's going to be. When is the Senior 2.0 expected to be released? I don't think that was mentioned. Ed or Eddie, I think he goes by Eddie, over there at Fort Worth. Whenever I saw his video about it, I think that they're releasing the uh, the high vis air. I think that drops for purchase in like 3 weeks or so. I don't know. I'd love to see that. Um, that shaver looks nice. I want to see it on the Black FX shaver color. That black. Oh yeah. The that kind of. It's not really flat black. It's this nice in between thing. Um, yeah, I like that color, man. Like you said, it's like a carbon color. Uh, it wouldn't surprise me, man. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, they do have a a flat black. It just doesn't match that fully. Let's see. SDG says, "I love my compact shaver and trimmer." Man, those two, like the clipper is great. It's really good. I should say it's really good. But that trimmer, so I put the T45 trimmer blade onto that trimmer, and it's just a nice go-to. Now, once again, like Babyliss products do, they have a tendency to get loud. So far, I have done. I don't know if y'all know about the using a certain kind of grease in that little slot of the cam follower. Um, I've done that for a while, and uh, oh shoot, Desmond over from Concise's channel, he sent me that he does the same kind of thing, but he also puts oil in one of the side reservoirs of the trimmer that helps it out. I tried that out. It's still a little loud, but it does help. But that's a great trimmer. But man, that shaver is top tier. That little shaver is just, it's the perfect size for a compact shaver. So let's see. Jay Blends, that's great customer service. Jay Blends in the house. What's up, dude? Oh man. To have your own version of a clipper, that's gotta feel pretty cool, dude. I had the Jay Blends troll. Um, yeah, yeah, heck yeah, dude. Yeah, Edward. Okay, it goes by Edward. Good to know. Let's see. I got too many clippers and trimmers, so going to skip the dual coil. Going to keep an eye out for the Senior 2.0 to rotate out the magic clips. See, that's the thing. To me, if Wall steps it up with the Senior 2.0, I mean, the magic clip needs an overhaul too. It's so tired. It's done. It's cooked. I just don't see. I mean, talk about loud and annoying. I hate the sound of those. Um, but yeah, I just I want to see Wall step up their game because I know that we have some brand loyalists. I know that there's some brands that we don't like, some that we love. Is what it is. It is good for barbering as a whole that these companies are all stepping up their game because that'll make them step up their game and them step up their game. That's a good thing. So I love the fact that Wall is apparently taking note and getting serious. Yeah, so let's see the things that seem different. It's got USB-C. Hopefully, to God, it's going to come with a charging stand and not one that you have to buy afterwards. It's got the light indicator on the top, the click wheel on the taper arm, the indicators. It looks like the F32 fade out blade, but it could just be the new look of their blades. That could be a thing too. And the fat taper arm itself, that platypus tail. So, yeah, I think that I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it. And this is the first time I've said about a wall clipper in a while. I liked the Vapor. It wasn't fully for me, but I liked it, and it was a step in the right direction. But they gotta create their new flagship. So let's see. Jay also says, oh, he's giving shouts out to some people. That's cool, man. Let's see. most asked about tool from my customers is the Bronze Series 9. Smooth shaving, especially for sensitive skin. Only negative is the price and the power button will pop off. See, to me, especially for if you guys are younger barbers, you may not remember this time, but there was a time where we had to find other ways to fill our needs with this. I mean, there for a while, all we had was the Wall Shaver Shaper and the original Andis Pro Foil. That was it. And honestly, the Remington, the Braun, I mean, shaved circles around the rest. But that's changed. I think once Babyliss got into the foil game, you don't have to spend that much to have a great tool. I think that, having $300 shavers, it was a necessity we had to do, but you don't have to do that anymore. But I get it. I mean, it does get close. I will say, if you guys have not used that compact, anybody in the comment section can confirm, that thing gets, I think, closer than any other Babyliss shaver ever has. Right now, I'm using it as a gauge for my other shavers because I think I have it nice and smooth, but I come back with that compact and it's taking off something. So if it's taking off something, that means there's still something there to take off. Nothing gets as close as those things to me. Let's see. Penterlio says, I still love my troll. I will say, underappreciated T-Pub clipper right there. And I love that Jay Blend's got to do that. And a shout out to a man who served our country, was a military man. Jay, appreciate you, brother. And Jay says, it was a huge blessing. Appreciate you copping it. Heck yeah. Let's see. Gabriel Jr. Is the Recon Clipper quiet? Been really considering that as my next cop. So, in my opinion, like I said this before, maybe my mic went out. Maybe that's what I was talking about. The linear, vector, whatever you want to call it, those motors, they are loud. However, kind of like the Stylecraft Instinct, whenever they made the metal one, it was quieter. I think that if you have a good metal base, a good solid construction like what the Recon is, it is not near as loud. I use the Recon on the daily, and it is not near as loud as the Instinct was. Not near as loud. And I think out of the Vector motors, it is the quietest of all of them. But a lot of people don't like how heavy it is because it is a all metal construction. But it's rigid, it's comfortable in the hand. It's a very comfortable clipper. I've got 4 of them on my station with different blade sets. I use them all the time. I mean, they're my go-to right now. Let's see. Jay also says, all these new companies definitely put pressure on the OGs. They absolutely did, man. And it was needed. Honestly, like, to me, it started with Babyliss. Like, Babyliss was the first disruptor of the big 3. Wall, Andis, and Oster, for the longest time, was just comfortable making their OG clippers, not doing anything new. Babyliss came out. Now, for a while, Babyliss tried to enter the scene with the Forfex line and all this different stuff, and it wasn't good at all. But once they came out with the FX trimmer and the FX clipper, the cordless ones, everything changed. And I think that opened up people to realize that, companies like, Gamma Stylecraft, like T-Pub, like Caliber, it was a much needed disruption. And what it did was it lit fires under the asses of these CEOs and made them realize, yeah, you just don't get to keep our business without earning it. Because as we know, if you just did lame ass haircuts all the time, what would happen? You lose your clients. So we have to compete. We have to be on top of our game. Let's see, where we at? Jay also says, I don't think Oster going to step up to the plate, though. Dude, Elster's dead, man. It makes me so sad. I know I've been ranting about it for years with Oster. I used to be an Oster fanboy. Like back in the day, like back 2002, 3, 4, I had fast feed 76s. I even used, okay guys, don't judge me for this. I even used the T finisher for a little while. Not long, but I used it. Haircut expectations were also different back then. Lines did not need to be as crispy. Um, anyway, that's barber history for you guys. But I used to be a big fanboy for Oster, but man, they don't get it. Whoever's in charge of their barber line, they started doing those art tech things and the techie and all that stuff. Yeah, they can keep making like, horse clippers and sheep clippers and stuff like that, and at home kits. They're dead. They've been on life support for a while, and they finally pulled the plug. Buster Brown says, "I'm with you. I hate the magic clip, but I'm so amazed how they locked in barbers with it." So the reason is that we were all familiar with this clipper shape. I think that whenever they came out with the slimmed down version of the wall clipper shape, which is what this is, it used to be a whole lot fatter. They did hit a sweet spot, and since it was selling good, they're like, "Well, we don't need to change anything." They did not realize that the storm was brewing. Like Jay Blends just said, the storm was brewing. People got involved, and it went away. See, that Jay Blends colorway sold me, and it should sell on any wall to date. 100%. I love flat gray is just a good look. That battleship gray, really good look. Let's see. Marcos the Barber. What I've been doing with the wall launch is put some clipper oil on a mini brush and oiling them like that. I don't know what you mean by wall launch. Sorry. Feel free to elaborate down below. I'd love to understand what that means. The Braun is the best investment I've made. Makes me faster and it's more gentle. I will say, two of the shavers I'm going to be reviewing here coming up really eat the hair. Kind of remind me of that. So I've got 3 shaver videos coming up. You guys will be seeing it. Let's see. Gabriel Jr. says, "I use the cordless masters, so I think I'll be good in terms of weight." I love the purple guards, so I'm more than down to purchase them. I mean, I think the Recon for me, it's, I love the Phenom. I mean, for me, it won Clipper of the Year this past year. But like I said in that video, it won it because of the point system I have. But my favorite clipper of this past year is the Recon, not the Phenom. The power it has, the way it feels in hand, and I'm biased. I love my little taper arm I designed with them for it. I love that clipper. And the gunmetal, I don't know if y'all seen my setup with it. I have the gold master blade on the gunmetal Recon. I love that look. I know it's just a look. It still cuts like it would cut if it was a silver blade with the gold lid, but I like the way it looks. Let's see. LC says 4 Recons. I'm afraid to ask how many clippers you have in total. It's a problem. This is just my decorative clipper wall, and I've got those there. I've got boxes in the back. I've got on my station, because of ones I'm testing and ones I'm looking at and reviewing, I probably have 10 to 12 clippers, probably about just as many trimmers, 6 or 7 shavers. It's a problem. And here's the thing. By no means am I saying that you have to have that number to be a good barber. You need one good of everything. You need a good shaver, a good trimmer, a good clipper, and I would prefer having a detachable. So honestly, you need 4. You don't have to have the detachable. I like a detachable. But then there comes, well, what if I want one to have a fat blade? Well, there's another one. Well, let's do that. What if you want a crunch blade? Okay, well, there's another one. What if you want a fade blade or a taper blade? Okay, so you keep adding to it according to blades. That's the kind of the perk of the Phenom is you can actually just have a cartridge for each blade you use. But I love clippers. I always have. I've always been a clipper head. I was the guy in the shops that used to fix the old clippers because I used to be able to just fix them because they didn't have circuit boards. But I've always been that guy. That's why I love doing this. Let's see. With foil shavers, I'm not looking for the closest cut. I need no irritation or ingrown hairs when customer comes back. Braun 9 has been the only thing to fit that need, but I'm open for options. I get that as well. It's I think what Braun did is they made companies like Andis, like Wall, like Babyliss, look at their foils and say, how are they doing this without as much irritation? And so that's why I think Babyliss has stepped up their game so much, and for me are the kings of the mountain when it comes to foil. But yeah, let's see. Okay, just so you guys wonder, if you type it in here, I'm going to say it, unless it's some words I can't say. But Pantera Leo says, Oster, I think, said, fuck it. We're still getting barber money, but people want our blenders more. I'll tell you what, if they put as much innovation into their blades on their clippers as they did into the blades on the blenders, they make a damn good blender. I mean, blenders don't last a whole long. Well, God, I can't talk today. Blenders don't last for a long time. But my blender at my house is an Oster, and we've had it for like 10 or 11 years, and that thing's a beast. And we don't just like not use it. We use it a lot. Let's see. Marco says, in one of the new clippers Wall just came out with a few months ago. It's one of the new clippers Wall came out with. Let's see. Okay. I saw that at Sally's, I believe. I forgot about that because, I mean, zero advertisement, zero social media about it. I think it's like a, yeah, like just a lower key clipper. I need to look into that. Maybe that's something worth reviewing for you guys. Let's see. Jay says, I came into barbering late 2015. I barely caught the tail end of the Oster fast feed octane hype. The corded designer is what I started with, and the corded T outliner. I never became a fan of the masters. And that's the thing, there's no doubt nostalgia for some of us older barbers. I mean, if you guys don't know my story, I'm a third generation barber. I've been in barbershops my whole life. I don't remember not hanging out in one. 6, 7 years old, hanging out on my dad's shoe shine stand that was in the barbershop. Looking at comic books, drawing, doing homework in the barbershop as a kid. So for me, like, it's a lot of nostalgia tied to the master, to the senior, to the fast feed, to the 76, the old school T outliners. And I think that's where they're having to, like, the new Master 2 may only be to really satiate the guys like me and older. But at the same time, that's why they're also giving you new options like the Recon. For a lot of you younger guys, you may never touch a pair of Master 2s. I mean, whenever I get the new updated ones, I hope they're fantastic. I hope they're awesome. But man, we got some great clippers with the Recons. So, I mean, they're giving us options where they didn't give us really that many options before. We have a lot of good options now. And that's me not even mentioning the NV2, which is also a great clipper, which I think, in my opinion, definitely should have kicked the Magic Clip to the side. The NV2 to me is a much superior clipper than the Magic Clip. If you ever want to sell that T-Pub Phantom, let me know. Yeah, it's a good one. I'll let you know, but I don't know. I like to hold on to my stuff for comparison purposes, and also I love having them. Let's see. Or the Osterline. Wall clippers, the Slimline Pro Li, and the gray and a shaver were the the go-to lineup for you. Um, Gosh, if I go back to 2015, so I was an early adapter of the cordless clippers that Wall first came out with. I think before the Magic Clip came out, they first dropped um, the cordless Designer and the cordless Sterling 4. I grabbed that Sterling 4 quick. It came with a taper blade, which I liked. Later on, I did end up getting a Magic Clip, but I rocked with, back then it was the BGRs, 2015. It was either the BGRs or the Oster Model 10s. It was the Sterling 4. And my go-to for a long time was I took an old pair of 8900 Wall cordless trimmers, nickel cadmium. They were cheap, is what it was. But I put the TWB blade on it, and I loved that combination. And between that and having a pair of T outliners, the original GTX 3-prong corded T outliners, that was my go-to lineup for a while. And I've always loved having the adaption. Like I said, I can't talk today, guys. The uh, the thing that allowed me to put this damn master blade on the wall clipper. God, can't talk. Anyway, it's been a long day. I worked a 12-hour shift today in the shop, guys. I'm tired, but I do love doing this. Let's see. Pantera Leo says, if you ever want to sell a T-Pub, okay, so Lanton, let me know. Busta Brown, which sold more, Wall Magic Clip or Andis Slimline Pro? Oh, dude, that's a good question. The Magic, now, does this include the corded Magic Clip? Because Slimline Pro came out several years before the cordless Magic Clip. Several years. I think the Magic Clip cordless one came out in like 2016, 2017. Man, that's a good question. My guess would be the Magic Clip, just because, I mean, for the longest time, it was everybody's go-to, and you'd had several on your station. That's a good question, though. That'd be fun to find out. What do you not like about the Recon Phase Blade, or do you just love the Master Blade? So, I love the Phase Blade, but for me, I've always loved fading and tapering with the taper blade. The reason being is quite simple. So, here's the Phase Blade on this Master. Now, people always talk about how far this pushes out, the stretch on that. That's not really what matters to me. What matters to me is how far it goes out with the combination of how thick this blade gets. Because with the taper blade, it comes out more of an angle. So as you push it out, it gets longer. And I just like having that option. I do have, fade blades, vapor blades, same thing, just one has ridges, one doesn't. I do have a lot of those on my station as well, but whenever it comes to my main go-to clipper, I like having a taper blade. I've got 3 plays on my station, definitely have a chunk blade on one of them, maybe on 2, actually 2 of them right now. And then I have the T-Pub Echo blade on the other one. With the Recons I've got an assortment of blades. I've got one with the phase blade. I've got one with the fat blade. I have one with the blur crunch blade, and I have one with the master blade. And I use all of them. I prefer blades over guards any day. So that's the reasoning behind it. Let's see. Slimline 2 looks beast. It is. It is such a good improvement. For one thing, USB-C comes with a charging dock with it, but they've taken out the fat front and tail of that clipper. And honestly, if you've ever used one of those thicker Sharpie or just big permanent markers, that's kind of what it feels like in the hand. So when it comes to designs, carving stuff out, it is such a comfortable tool. Um, I have heard of people putting a M-Force blade on it. I've not tried it myself, but I am going to try that. I'm over the moon with it. I think it's a great tool. It's not the be all end all trimmer, but it's a great side tool for getting into tight spaces, doing designs. I think it's great for that. Everything that the original was, just more powerful, better battery life, and just better. Doesn't have the switch problem. The old ones had that problem where the switch would pop off or they'd just mess up. All right, Desmond comes in. Hey, Des. Babeless. Yeah, I've been talking about you a little bit, man. Talked about that little trick you sent me about the grease on the cam follower and the oil in the side. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Des is in the house. Let's see. Pantera Leo also says the new West Tech clipper looks interesting. I want to try it out. I'm a sucker for any kind of modern variation of the blade system, especially one that goes from a 2 down to nothing. That taper arm's got to be a beast. Yeah, I'm probably gonna look that up. Yeah, Des, he says, did y'all see the Wall Senior 2.0? We've been talking about it a lot. The fly, click, and floating lever, that spin, that little click wheel. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Oh, let's see. This is Panterilio also says the only difference between the Andis Master Blade and the Chunk is the last 2 teeth grooves on the end of the blade of the Master Blade groove is deeper in the last 2 teeth, but the Chunk / made show. I don't know what that last part means. I think a big thing with the Chunk is like it needs to pair up with a good cutting blade that makes it feel like a Master 2. That's the combination there. That's why whenever I did the Wall Senior, I cannot come up with that word today. The little augmentation I made on this tool was putting the Master Blade on there, but a big part of it was also getting that Filthy Blends bracket to where I could put the mod. Thank you. Jesus Christ, you gotta be kidding me. 40s suck. I'm just gonna say that. Being in your 40s sucks. It's rough. Anyway, to me, having the Master cutting blade on here is what makes it worth it. So I think that having that Master blade and that Master cutting blade work together, it's everything. Jay says, just a side question, how long you been playing guitar? Oh man, for about as long as I've been barbering. So I've been barbering 24 years, and I picked up the guitar halfway through barber school. So yeah, about 23, 24 years. Long time. Blade works great too, and obviously is more guard versatile. Yeah, I will say the blade blank. That's what they call them. If you at least the guys I know in the industry, the shape of the blade is the blade blank, and so that's what they carve the teeth out of and everything. The Andis and the Oster, different size than the wall was. Whenever Babeless came along, they decided to go with the wall size and the wall screws, and everybody else followed suit. Caliber followed suit, T-Pub followed suit, tons. So, and because of that, so many guard sets are for that blade, especially with Oster dying. You have Andis standing alone on that, and one thing I've been telling them for years that I'd love to see is I'd love to see Andis. I'd love to see them go to standard screw sets, the what everybody else uses as far as the spacing in between, and the blade blank as well. If they ever do, I think it would be a great move on their end, because I stand by this and I always will, at least for now. Andis makes the best blades, and that's what does all of our work. So I would love to be able to see a fat blade on a Babelist tool. I'd love to see a master blade on uh, the TPOB Play. I'd love to see that. There's just some things that need to be changed so they're more accessible for everybody to use. Let's see. Des, you're welcome, man. Did it quiet down a bit? It did help it. It just not all the way. I think I need to maybe take it off, clean it out, start fresh. Tell me about it. I'm 43. I turned 42 in a month and a half, so I'm real close to you, man. Jay Blends, that's awesome, man. I play too, dude. That's another thing, guys. If you don't have a good outlet, an artistic outlet, most of us who get into this business, we're artistic people. We're creative type people. Be sure to have an outlet that helps you decompress at the end of the day. We're having to be social creatures all day long, absorb everybody's mess coming in our shop, and we do it very graciously. I love my job. I love what I do. But at the end of the day, I need to decompress. And whether it's a video game or drawing or painting or playing an instrument, find something that helps you get that off of you. Because if you just sit there and absorb it, you end up hating your job over time, and that's not good. So, let's see. Andreas says, what clipper or clippers are you most looking forward to dropping this year? The Master 2, whenever they get that ready, I think it's going to be a very exciting drop. The Senior 2.0, that's another exciting drop. I'm curious what we're going to get from TPOB first, whether it's going to be the Vortex or the Push, or there's so many different names that's floated around there. I forget which ones they are, but the Goblin 2.0, curious about what that's going to be. I don't know, there's a lot going on, but I'll tell you a company we've not heard really anything from, and that's Stylecraft. I have hardly heard anything about them as far as what's coming out, what's new. The Saber 2 was a big hit, but as much as I love Jeezy, his wasn't. I think it was just, to me, they've got to get away from trying to charge $300 for a pair of clippers. They are going to be coming out with the Rebel 2.0 or the Rebel 2, whatever they're going to call it. That could be good. I wasn't a fan of the Rebel. To me, it was a loud magic clip. Now, that's my personal opinion. I wasn't a big fan of the first Rebel, but maybe the second one's going to be good. Yeah. Let's see. Pantera Leo also says the Andis premium guards are slept on. The ones with the little metal clip at the bottom are the ones you're talking about that used to come with the Master. Not the purple double mags, but is that what you're talking about? Because if so, yes, they are. Yeah, he says yes. Man, Andis, I will say the past 2 years of kind of being in their ear and seeing how they respond to stuff that I know me and other guys that they listen to are telling them, they're very responsive, man. They're in this to make it what it should be, and I'm here for it. Yeah, Jay says, dope live, brother. Gonna call it a night. Have a blessed one. You too, Jay. I appreciate you tuning in, man. And honestly, I'm about to call it a night too, guys. I think this is almost a total of an hour and a half we've been on here so far. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. 2 different videos. I appreciate you moving past the audio problems of the first one. And let's stay optimistic towards the changes in our business. Let's give these companies a chance to win us over, see what happens. Senior 2.0 could be a big deal. It could also be a bust. You never know. But let's see. I really appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, stay tuned. I got these right here coming out soon. I've got 2 more shavers that I'm reviewing. The Go clipper, gonna be reviewing it soon, and a pair of clippers and trimmers that you've probably never heard of, but are some of the quietest I've ever heard. So, more to come. Well, guys, I appreciate you. Stay blessed, stay positive, keep it humble and kind, and I will check you guys on the next one.